After a very long and drawn out DC fandom, we finally got a second trailer for the new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson himself, and oh my gosh does it look good. It's now been a full year since we last got a look at this movie, and when we did get to see the first trailer, Matt Reeves said that they only filmed less than 25% of the movie, and the teaser still looked incredible. But I figured since it's been a year and they got to film everything, we would see so much new footage in this trailer, which we really did. They knocked it out of the ballpark. This movie looks like it's going to be a cinematic masterpiece, and Bruce Wayne, Batman, this movie feels like he's going to be so unapologetically violent this film, and I really hope that's what it turns out to be like. I've been pretty confident in this movie since the beginning, but I know that a lot of people have their doubts, especially since all of the news and rumors about trouble while filming came out, but I gotta say, this trailer has convinced everyone and their mother that this is going to be a great Batman movie, and honestly, I think this might be the most comic book accurate Batman movie we've ever seen. And that just makes me all the more excited. But there was so much going on in this trailer, I just want to talk about it. And while making this video, I went ahead and watched it a few more times, and I found a lot of tiny little details that no one has been talking about yet. So I think I'm going to make a slow motion breakdown later this week, so make sure you're subscribed with post notifications on so you don't miss it. There's a lot of cool details I want to show you. Now, this trailer starts off with this grim exterior shot of a diner in Gotham the Riddler is waiting to be captured by the police at. And let me tell you, Paul Dano is going to steal the show with this movie. I cannot wait to see him as the Riddler. He's got so much to bring to this character, and I can only hope that eventually he gets his own spin-off. The police capture him, which will undoubtedly be part of the Riddler's plan, him getting captured, but I really love this little clue he leaves behind, his little riddle latte. Can you imagine if this is just one of 440 Riddler trophies that Batman has to find around Gotham? The movie is just 50 hours long, and we're following Batman searching every nook and cranny in Gotham, slowly getting more frustrated as the movie goes on. Do you remember when the Joker gets captured in Dark Knight? That was totally part of his plan. He already had Rachel and then Dent kidnapped and tied up in separate locations with their own bombs, and he was just toying with Batman, making him play his game. No doubt the Riddler is going to be doing the same thing here. Just because he's captured doesn't mean the bad guys have won. The games are only just beginning. Then we get Batman talking about the bat signal. He says it's not just a way to communicate and work with the police, but it's also a warning sign. A warning sign that any thug in Gotham caught misbehaving is going to the hospital. I literally got goosebumps when he was saying this. Bruce Wayne is at this point in the movie where he literally does not care about anyone. He just wants to bring the bad guys to justice. He's fighting for redemption and against the corrupt Gotham that killed his parents and left him scarred. When criminals see that light in the sky, they should have the fear in them that Batman does not care about nearly killing every single one of those guys out there, and he'll be back to do it each night, over and over and over again. I think he looks absolutely terrifying and on the brink of insanity. This group fight scene against these guys is going to be so awesome, and I can't help but feel they're going to open the movie with this and then have bigger and more epic fights as we go deeper into the movie. I really love this little sonar device he uses on this guy. I have no idea what it is, but I'm so excited for new gadgets. This is also one of the better full body shots of the Batsuit we've seen close up so far. It looks so good. I can't wait to see this on screen as much as possible. The fact that it allows him to just take bullets to the chest like it's nothing is so freaking awesome. It just makes him feel invincible, like there's no taking him down. How can you not be scared of this guy? He is becoming the thing that all criminals will come to fear. Next, we see the captured Edward Nashton in custody, and Batman comes in to question him, most likely about another one of his killings or possibly the bomb from the first trailer. And I can't wait to see this crazy unstable side of Bruce come out in Batman. The movie is doing what Marvel can't, and I'm so glad they're not trying to be Marvel. They can do things that Marvel can't do because of the older audience they have, and I think this gritty detective crime action story is going to really pay off big time for them. Plus, it also gives us something so fresh and new to look forward to that we haven't really seen done this well in the superhero world. I mean, just look at this trailer. It's a cinematic masterpiece. If anything, at least we know this movie will be visually outstanding. I also thought that was pretty interesting that we haven't seen the Riddler's face yet. I'm glad they're keeping it a little bit of a mystery for this movie. I really hope they don't reveal too much before it comes out. We've only got 4 months left, and I'm hoping there's some big surprises that they don't show us in these trailers. Next, we're introduced to Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, which I gotta say, I really like how her character feels in this movie. She looks very versatile and sneaky and and independent. I love the different looks she has. There's literally 3 different looks just in this trailer alone, plus her costume that we didn't get to see her in. It really feels like she could blend into a crowd in a moment's notice and slip in and out to get what she wants without anyone batting an eye. This orange background they're shooting on is so gorgeous. The color grading for this film just looks beautiful. They're working with the very talented cinematographer Greg Fraser for this movie, who also did the cinematography for Rogue One and Dune, which both look incredible. I'm so excited to watch this movie in theaters. It looks like such a visually appealing movie, and that makes me so happy. We also get to see a good look at Colin Farrell as the Penguin, which, again, I am so surprised at how he looks. If nobody told me, I wouldn't know that was Colin Farrell. Even his voice sounds different. He's an amazing actor, and I think he's going to kill it as Penguin. I really hope that he becomes a reoccurring character in this universe, and we see him have little roles in the next movies. And Alfred. This is our first look at Andy Serkis playing this role, and can I say, he looks so good. He looks weathered, he looks seasoned, he looks like he can hold his own and bring things to the table that Bruce will need to hear. I can't wait to see the relationship between them, and I really hope he gets a decent amount of screen time. But here he tells Bruce if he continues the way he is, there's not going to be anything left to continue with. And I can't help but imagine this is him referring to Bruce's recklessness, as he is literally just going in guns a-blazing, not giving a care in the world what happens to him, just walking head on into gunfire to accomplish his mission. We're seeing a very young Bruce in this movie. I'm really excited to see him already started in his career as the Bat. We're not going to get an origin story. This is not what this is. We're getting a Batman finding his footing story, which is another new thing that this film has going for it. Then we see this clip of more riddles, and it looks like a lot of evidence that Edward Nashton left for Batman, but there's all these big puzzle pieces of Gotham here. Coulson refers to the bomb guy from the first trailer, the district attorney who will probably be putting people behind bars wrongfully. Pete Savage is the commissioner who's probably corrupt as well. Don Mitchell was the former mayor that gets killed off in the first trailer. The renewal is a lie, one of Riddler's messages, probably referring to the corrupt Gotham being industrialized or refurbished by the corrupt to profit off the people. In Sins of My Father, I can't help but think this refers to Bruce Wayne's father, who was probably part of the corruption with all of his shady secrets that I'm sure we'll learn about in this movie. But all of these have something in common. They all point to the big question mark in the center of the room, and I'm sure we're going to follow along as Bruce tries to figure out what the Riddler has done. Next, we get to take a look at the Iceberg Lounge, which is Penguin's club. Batman needs to talk to Penguin, so he infiltrates this club, beats all the bad guys to a pulp with anything he can find, including this huge pipe, captures the Penguin, and no doubt gets what he needs to know out of him. The more I see Colin Farrell as the Penguin, the more excited I get for this movie. I love the flashing red in these scenes. I feel like it's just going to make it so much more epic. This fight, the whole mass breakout feel, is going to be so cool. As long as we get more scenes of Batman throwing his fists through bad guys' faces, I'll be happy. We also get to see a little bit more of Selina Kyle talking to Batman and questioning who he is under the mask. Now, usually how it works is she's pretty smart and smart enough to eventually figure it out before Batman decides to reveal himself to her. But here, when she is getting close to Bruce, he looks a little too comfortable and like he likes it a little too much. I'm really excited that they decided to put 3 different villains in this movie. If we get an origin story for each of them, there's such a good chance they'll end up getting their own short series on HBO Max or possibly their own spin-off movies. This scene is what everyone is freaking out over. Out of nowhere, Batman drops down in a pitch black corridor, and immediately 4 bad guys just start lighting him up, and Batman just takes all the bullets. He's literally a bullet sponge in this movie, and it's so freaking awesome. It's like he's invincible. This is why Alfred was telling him to take a chill pill. But he marches down the hallway, taking out the thugs as he goes, and all we can see are little glimpses from the muzzle flashes from the gunfire, and it's the most epic cinematic action scene ever, and the trailer just continues to get better. They literally just casually give Pattinson a Darth Vader hallway scene, and then go off to show off even more stuff in the trailer. This trailer is setting my hopes so high right now. This is the best portrayal of Batman as a figure that the thugs of Gotham should be scared of. He literally looks like he's going to put them all in comas and couldn't care less. He looks invincible. These bad guys are not going home tonight. They're going to the ICU. Please do not let us down, Matt Reeves. We are trusting you. Oh, that's so awesome. Real quick, how is nobody talking about how this Batmobile looks straight out of the Fast and Furious franchise? Dom Toretto would be so proud. I wouldn't be surprised if his license plate says family. No, but for real, this is so cool to see such a grounded take on this Batmobile. It looks like something that a real life crime fighter would actually use, especially one that's just starting out and has a lot of room for some sick upgrades. Love this shot of Batman with the wing glider suit hopping off the Gotham Tower and the police chasing him, which also piques my curiosity at what relationship Batman will have with the police in this movie. We know he'll eventually be on working terms with them because of the Batlight and Commissioner Gordon and his invitation to all the crime scenes, but what about all the scenes with Batman running from the cops or getting into scuffles with them? Will the Riddler set him up and the cops eventually go after Batman? Is it just the first half of the movie before he begins working with the Commissioner? I'm not so sure, but I'm really excited to see. Another shot of Batman just relentlessly beating a bad guy to a pulp, holding absolutely nothing back. I'm sure he'll even come close to killing in this movie, but his character holds him back. We get some more cinematic wonderfulness with the red flare and Batman leading the people through the water. I can only imagine what this is going to be. I'm sure the handiwork of another one of Riddler's bombs, but I want to talk about this final scene. You know the one that I'm talking about. This scene where Penguin himself thinks he blows up the Batman. At this point, I had goosebumps for 2 full minutes straight. I didn't know it could get any better, but Colin Farrell as Penguin is literally yelling out that he got the Batman, believing he killed him. And just at the last moment, the Batmobile shoots out of the fireball, crashing into the Penguin, causing him to flip over. Then we see an upside down shot from the Penguin's perspective as Batman literally walks through the flames towards him, Terminator style. This is such an epic shot. Once again, this just makes him look like he's invincible. This clip alone is why I'm going to the theater. I cannot wait for this film. Can only imagine all the other stuff they're going to jam pack in this movie. I knew this movie would be worth the wait, but like, dang, this movie way over exceeded my expectations. Oh, and swinging back to the Penguin origin story, could you imagine if Batman crashed into the Penguin and damaged his legs, and that's what will eventually make him walk funny and give him his penguin waddle? I mean, I'm not saying I called it, but that would be pretty cool. They did a really good job with this trailer. I feel like this movie is just going to be visually incredible. I love the dark and gritty take on this superhero they're doing, and I love how well they distinguish themselves through the fighting, the color grading, the insanity, the dark tones, the suit, the Batmobile. I'm just so ready for this movie. The whole trailer gave me chills, and I just can't wait for the next one. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure you're subscribed with post notifications on so you don't miss my slow motion breakdown I'll be doing soon. Tell me in the comments what villain you're most excited for in this movie. And until next time, I am vengeance.